XRP is exploding. XRP is now center stage, and everyone around the world is paying attention to XRP, and they're wondering what is going on with this pump, what caused this pump, but more importantly, is it too late to invest? What if I told you that all of the reasons that are spewing across social media about why XRP is pumping, it's all BS. They're lying to you about the real reason XRP is pumping. And today, we're gonna lay down the facts. We're gonna get to the bottom of what is actually taking place in the XRP chart. And once you know this information, you're gonna know every time right before there's a massive pump in XRP. I'm gonna give you the simple formula, and you're going to be able to follow it for years and years to come, and your bank accounts will be so happy because of it. Or more importantly, your XRP wallet. So in today's video, we're gonna cover the truth, and the lies need to stop. I also have a very wild prediction for XRP that I'm going to share with you, and then we're going to discuss, is it too late? Should you be investing right now into XRP? Let's get into it. By the way, breaking news. I want to drop a huge clue because you have one question and one question only in this video. Will XRP continue to pump? That's it. That's what you want to know. And I'm noticing something huge in the chart. There's a huge clue. In fact, it's right in front of your nose in this chart right here. And later in the video, I'm going to drop it on you. It's going to be a bombshell, but that's the thing that you want to know the most. So make sure you share this with everyone in the XRP army. In today's video, I want you to pay attention to this trend line as it played a critical role in the recent explosion of XRP. This is what I had to say 8 months ago about this trend line. Roll the clip. Once price action breaks above this yellow line, that's when an explosion in price will happen. An explosion that XRP hasn't seen in recent years. It'll be significant because you have to think about it. This is a 6-year trend line, 6 years of pent-up aggression. Once you burst through that, it's like the walls will let go and price will just. So you can see what happened to XRP. We had pent-up aggression. We had an explosion, not a little one, not a big one, a massive one, biggest in many years. But here's the key. XRP drops a huge clue well before this boom. In today's video, I really want to break that part down, that secret clue that XRP leaves. Let's break it down. Here we are. We're on XRP USD. We are on the 2-week chart. Now, on the 2-week chart, right away, if you've seen my videos before, you know what they're spewing out there in the news, in the newspapers, around social media. You know it's BS because they say this pump is mainly driven by the US elections.
Since the US election, XRP has gained $100 billion in value. It is now the world's 3rd largest cryptocurrency.
And I'm here to tell you that is absolutely BS. And I'm going to prove it to you with actual facts. By the way, I told you I have a wild prediction that I'm going to share with you in this video. What I didn't say is that I actually have 2 wild predictions. The second one is ridiculous. Wait until I show you because I found something incredible in the charts, something you are going to love. Now, let's take a look at the chart. We've got price action above for XRP USD on a 2-week time horizon. Middle of our screen is RSI. RSI just simple measures overbought and oversold areas of the chart, as well as the bottom of our screen is stochastic RSI, and just think of that one as momentum. And if the blue line is on top, we have momentum to the upside. If the blue line is on bottom, like here, we have momentum to the downside. It makes it a simple game. So we're going to talk about these components on the chart and break down the lies that are being spewed all over the internet. Now, when I talk about XRP, there's a couple things I want you to keep in mind. Now, when we're talking about price action, we're going to zoom in here for a moment. We do have a green line on our chart and we do have a red line on our chart. And for those of you that have followed us for a while, you know what these two moving averages are. Now, I want you to share this video with everyone in the XRP community because the lies need to stop. But let's be real about this. We have the 9 SMA. Okay, that's in green. This green line right here is the 9 SMA. SMA just means simple moving average. You can go to your indicators, you type in SMA, you plug that bad boy into 9, and then you're good. The next one is the 21 SMA. Keep in mind, we're on the 2-week chart. So you plug in another indicator with another SMA, and you put that one to 21, you change the colors, and voila. Now, when you put those two moving averages over top of your price action, you're going to notice something right away. Right away, it's going to jump out to you. It's going to be abundantly obvious. When we have this cross, wild things happen. Now, if you follow my videos, this is not our first rendezvous with XRP. By the way, in a previous XRP video, I gave a wild formation that I saw that could potentially play out, that could be bonkers for XRP. In today's video, I'm going to clarify because there's one huge piece that everyone was missing about that formation. We're going to get into it later in this episode. And make sure you share this with everyone in the XRP army because they need to know. Tilt your phone to the side and subscribe. Now, I sat right here in this chair in the year 2020 when XRP was just hit with a lawsuit and they were getting obliterated in the news. Every newspaper, every news outlet, all around social media, XRP was getting murdered. And everyone said they're going to go bankrupt. This is it. And me being a lover of the charts, being a lover of the facts, and one who actually hates all of media, including social media, I came out to spew the facts. And I said, look, I'm going to give you a huge tip here. Those of you who are XRP lovers, I do not invest in XRP. It is not going to zero. In fact, we're about to have a huge pump. I sat right here in this chair in 2020 and put my reputation on the line based on charts. I know people who love my TA. Also, there's a large amount of them that love XRP. So I will cover XRP a couple times a year with the biggest moves. So in 2020, I sat here and I said, okay, put the 9 SMA on your chart, put the 21 SMA on the chart, throw it on the 2 weeks, and look for a cross. And whenever the cross happens, when you have the green one crossing above the red one, which happened right here, that's when you buy, right? At that time, XRP was at about 21 cents. Again, it was getting obliterated in the news, you know, SEC lawsuit, this and that, whatever the case may be. We had a cross. We were at 21 cents. Then we went from 21 cents to $2, right? It was the cross that told us. It was also the cross that told us in 2017. For the record, I did not cover that when it happened, but I looked at the history. History repeats itself. That's why in 2020, I said, hold up. In 2017, we were at 2 cents and we went from 2 cents all the way up here to the stratosphere, right? And it happened right at that cross. So in 2020, that's what happened. Now, when you fast forward, right, that was 2020. We saw it go from, you know, it was a 10x, right? 20 something cents up to $2. Then we had this crash down, which again, you just look for the cross back down. You can take profits then, and then you can really start to multiply your portfolio. Fast forward to the year 2023. I sat right here in this chair and I showed you the same chart again. And I said, look, people are still denying XRP. A portion of my fans love XRP who appreciate my TA. I'm going to sit right here. I'll put my reputation on the line again. We had this cross, right? The cross this time was at about 37 cents. But this time I showed you this yellow trend line. And I said, just pay attention to this trend line, because what we've shown so far in the history of XRP is that we have had this trend line have multiple touch points on the downside as we continue to make lower highs. What does lower highs mean? Well, we had a high here, and the next time we made a high, the next time we pushed price up, it wasn't as high as the prior one, so we call that a lower high. In trading, this is a trend, right? And you look for trend lines to have multiple touch points, and there's a lot of confluence at those lines. By the way, I told you I have a wild prediction that I'm going to share with you in this video. What I didn't say is that I actually have two wild predictions. The second one is ridiculous. Wait until I show you, because I found something incredible in the charts, something you are going to love. So at this level at about 37 cents, we said, hey, we have a cross, but pay attention to this line. This line is something that you will think about taking profits at. And if it's the real one, we're going to see it hold support at this line. And if it does, it's going to explode. Why? Because we have a pressure cooker, plain and simple, right? Anytime you see, and I've showed you this in Bitcoin, I've showed you this in so many different charts, a multi-year trend line with multiple touch points getting broken to the upside is a pressure cooker waiting to explode, right? It's the same on the downside, but on the upside, you want to really get in the market when we're here. Now, if we look closer at it, we can see, okay, let's just look at actual facts, because I just mentioned go on the cross, don't go on the news and the media. We had the official cross on October 7th, 2024. Last time I checked, there was no president that was elected at that time. I could be wrong. I don't pay attention to the news, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but on October 7th, when we actually had a cross right here in the chart, we didn't have a president yet. I could be wrong. Now let's fast forward. October 21st, this is when the cross became official. And I'm pretty sure we also did not have a president on October 21st. I'm also pretty sure that that little cross marked the biggest moves of every single biggest move of XRP since 2017. 2017, this cross marked this biggest move. 2020, the cross marked this biggest move. 2023, the cross marked this biggest move. And suddenly we have an explosion and everyone's like, oh, it's because of the president. No, we had a cross right before then, and it's marked every single one of the biggest moves in XRP in the history of the chart we have in front of us. This is not a coincidence. So don't pay attention to the media. And by the way, I do not watch any human in crypto on social media for YouTube. And that's not because I don't like anybody. It's simply because in my early days in 2017 and 2018, I was watching people that I respect, but those thoughts got in my subconscious brain and interfered with my actual truth in what I see in the charts. And even if you have the strongest brain in the world, the subconscious brain is very undefeated. So I personally, I haven't watched anybody on YouTube in years, so I don't know what they are saying. But I did a quick search on something called Google and ChatGPT. They told me the top headlines that are spread across social media, and the top one by a mile is the president is the reason this is happening. So I just want to be clear, that is not true in the slightest bit whatsoever, not even close. Now that we have factual evidence to back it up, and again, you guys can fact check me, and maybe on October 7th we did have a president. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the news. Pretty sure we didn't. Now, when we have that intact, we say, okay, well, now I understand the structure. Now I understand the pressure cooker. I do have a wild prediction with XRP that XRP people, they may like a lot. So make sure you watch for that here in a moment. But what I want to say first is it too late to get in? What I also want you to notice is the middle of our screen is the RSI, right? The RSI, we were also watching the same type of trend line where we almost had a breakthrough here back in July, but we had rejection with price action at that level. At the same time, we had the stochastic RSI have a cross to the downside, which means our momentum fell off a cliff at the same time we got rejection at this trend line that has been a problem for years and years and years. So we didn't break through, right? Anytime you have a chart set up and you're looking for an actual breakthrough, look for confirmations on multiple levels, meaning price level, RSI, stochastic RSI, and see if those align with your thesis. In other words, if you're looking to enter a trade on a breakthrough here, but we don't have a breakthrough here and we have no momentum on our side, then that's a warning sign to you. However, if you're sitting here on the charts on October 7th, or at the very latest, October 21st, and you see a breakthrough here and a breakthrough here and momentum on our side, hello, it's time to enter the trade, right? So is it too late? What I will say is that later in this episode, I'm going to share two huge things that I discovered with two wild predictions. Those wild predictions are going to coincide with this topic of, is it too late? But for now, this is what I'll say. You got to wait until these wild predictions to really understand what could be about to play out before our eyes. But is it too late? So a lot of you are loving XRP or potentially getting into XRP and it's pumping. Anytime an altcoin is pumping or Bitcoin is pumping, you want to take a step back and you want to look at the charts and you want to look at different time horizons. For example, some of you may be trying to day trade and you're probably losing a lot of money. Some of you may be trying to swing trade and you're losing also a lot of money because those two time frames are too short in order to make significant gains. Those that are looking more long term are just dominating and they're not concerned about the day to day. For example, this is what I would recommend for folks who are really serious about making generational wealth, right? If you're really focused on financial freedom and actually making some sound decisions, what you really want to do is you want to enter XRP when the RSI is overextended to the downside, meaning the high majority of humans are selling XRP. Keep in mind, money always moves from impatient hands to patient hands. That's how it's been for hundreds and hundreds of years, even back in the day when we used spices and different rocks as a form of currency. People were impatient. Those people always became broke. Now, when you're patient, and you're a fan of XRP and you're in it for the long haul, you're going to be making dominating trades, right? You're going to look for those crosses that I told you about. And you're also going to pair that with the RSI to know that, oh my God, all the humans are selling right now and we just had a cross. Those are the times you enter the markets. The easiest way to establish that is on the 2-week time horizon, in the RSI, you put a line at 40. And anytime we touch or go below 40, you enter, right? That's the simple golden rule. And you pair that with the crosses, and that is how you make significant wealth. Now, if your question is, okay, well, Steve, I missed all of those. I'm relatively new. I want to get in this thing. Is it too late? Now you're talking about, potential shorter term trades, potential swing trade opportunity, and you're going to have to look at my two wild predictions and we'll refocus our attention back on, is it too late? But I just wanted to state the obvious that when you look at the RSI as it stands right now, this thing is overextended. It's one of the most overextended that it's ever been, right? You don't want to enter a long position at the height of glory, right? You can enter some short-term trades, some swing trades, and make some nice profits if you have a sound strategy. But like I said, the two wild predictions I'm going to share a little bit later. We're going to touch back on this topic of, is it too late? Once I share those with you, we will touch back on those topics. Tilt your phone to the side and subscribe. And by the way, I do want to say this. For the folks that held XRP, especially those that held in 2020 that probably saw my video and made a whole bunch of money and continued to hold throughout all of the ups and downs of XRP, you deserve what's happening now. For those people that really held on, that believed in the project, that believed it would all work out in their favor, especially those that bought probably up here. You know, there's probably people watching a lot that bought up here when XRP was $1, maybe $1.50, you know, maybe even around $2. Maybe you bought up there, and for years and years you were just getting beat over the head and you thought this was it. If you held from those times till now, you deserve the success you're seeing now, and I applaud you. By the way, shout out to you if you're an XRP and I helped you make a bunch of money. There's nothing cooler than just impacting somebody's life, giving some good solid TA that's not based on hype or hopium. It's based on actual facts, and it's not paid for. I'm not paid to lie to you or to deceive you or any way. So shout out to you if this helped you. By the way, I told you I have a wild prediction that I'm going to share with you in this video. What I didn't say is that I actually have 2 wild predictions. The second one is ridiculous. Wait until I show you, because I found something incredible in the charts, something you are going to love. Also, shout out to everybody. I don't give alerts very often, right? You guys know it's pretty rare I give alerts. I gave a few alerts in this bull, right? I gave Coinbase when it was at $50. It went from 50 to something like 300. I gave an alert on Meta when it was at 110 and went from like 110, you know, now it's up over 600. I gave an alert on Netflix when it was at 180, it went from 180 like over 900. I don't give alerts very often, but when I do, it's time to pay attention. In the video, I think it was yesterday, I gave the alert on Binance, which I just want to give a special shout out to my Binance folks. I started talking about that coin. I don't talk about altcoins. You guys know this, but I only picked like 1 or 2 coins that I was going to focus on. Binance was one of them. I told my OG students when Binance coin was at $8 back in 2018, and it was way out of like the top 30. And I said, this is going to be a top 10 coin. And it's gone from $8 to like 800. And since my video yesterday when I told you it was about to explode, it has since exploded. So shout out to the folks that are continuing to make some well-deserved profits. Now, let's get to my wild prediction. You guys know I do these videos to genuinely help, right? I have no personal gain or loss with XRP. I don't take any paid ads. I have turned down every single paid ad this is my 8th year on YouTube. I've taken not even 1 penny, and they've tried to give me millions to talk about all sorts of stuff, and basically to lie to you to make my pockets fatter and theirs way fatter. I think that's really dirty. I will never ever do it. So these are my raw, authentic, really true, genuine thoughts. So to be clear, the RSI way overextended, third most. The stochastic RSI still shows we have momentum, plain and simple. So could price continue to go up? Absolutely, we have the stochastic RSI. Is it a time a disciplined trader will enter the market? Hell no. Is it a time that an undisciplined trader is trying to make some quick money and trying to get greedy and trying to time the market with the perfect in and out to potentially make a little bit of money on? Yes, just so we're clear. Here's a wild prediction based on my genuine thoughts, based on my love for charts. A lot of times when you see a structure such as this, which represents, again, like a 7-year period, right? Where we had this downtrending line here with multiple touch points, with the first one being really explosive and the next market cycle taking a breather because that prior cycle was so explosive, it needed one cycle to sort of catch its breath. And then on that following cycle, it again exploded. What you typically see with formations like this, and this would not be out of the ordinary, is this would repeat. Now let that sink in. What does that mean? Well, it means that this whole scenario here, this 7-year scenario here, could be repeating right now. Now your first question is, well, what are we in right now? What part of the phase are we in right now? Because it's exploding. What do you predict is going to happen next? Well, if this were to repeat, what I'm saying is right now could represent 2017 for XRP. In other words, this could be the exploding part of the phase. And next cycle, we've exploded so much this cycle that next cycle it explodes like it did from 2020 from here to here. However, it sort of takes a breather in the next cycle. And then the following cycle, we see that whole thing happen where it's happening right as we speak, where it's like it's so slow. Things are going so sideways. It seems methodical. It seems relatively boring. It's a pressure cooker. It's building momentum, and the thing explodes, right? That is my wild prediction. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see this whole 7-year scenario repeat, and it could be repeating right before our eyes. What we're seeing right now could be the 2017 run up. Now, does that mean percentage wise it's going to? No. I'm looking at it market structure wise. 2017 made a new all-time high, and quite clearly, we don't know if this is going to do the same, but if it did, I would not be surprised if we saw the following cycle take a breather and then the next one be so boring until we had this cross, and it'll probably happen right before the election again, and then they will blame it on the election, even though you have the cheat code now. You have these two moving averages you can see and basically run the game up in your favor because you have this. Let's unveil the bombshell. Early in the episode, I told you there's one question and one question only on your mind. Will this thing continue to pump? It's as simple as that. So it requires a simple answer. Here is the huge clues XRP is leaving in the charts right now. What you've seen is a massive pump of XRP. Surprise, surprise. Yours truly 8 months ago told you about this trend line and told you that's when the pump would happen. I also gave you a huge clue to say you can have a few weeks window before the pump. You simply look for these two moving averages crossing. That happens like clockwork every single cycle. It happened in 2020. It happened also in 2023. Every single one of the biggest moves for XRP happened with these crosses. It happened in 2017 before this boom. It happened in 2020 before this boom. It happened in 2023 before this boom. It happened in 24 before this boom. It's not an accident. This is simple. But what's even bigger is your question of will it continue? We've seen the explosion. We've seen how powerful it was. And your question is, I don't think it's even possible for it to continue. Let me tell you the one huge clue that will tell us if this is going to continue. It comes down to really market structure. When you look at the RSI, middle of our screen, we're on a 2-week time horizon. What I want you to do is look right here at this line that I just drew, right? We can even change the color of this line to go for yellow. That way we can just call it the yellow line. We'll even go ahead and put this green arrow right here so you can see it. What I want you to notice is the market structure of here. Between, on a 2-week time horizon, between about 80 and this pivot high here. So you look between 80 and 66, and we need XRP to hold support between 80 and 66 and see a bounce higher than this previous swing high that we made of about 88. In other words, if you see XRP falling in the coming weeks, it's irrelevant. The only thing that really matters is the market structure between the RSI of 80 and 66. And if we're able to hold that and make a higher high, meaning the RSI holds between 80 and 66 as support and then starts to see a bounce up and higher than this one, what we're going to see is a continued explosion of XRP, but really magnified. It would be something that would really gravitate towards the rest of the world, would be on notice of such a move, because there's something I need to clear up about my wild prediction, and we're about to get into that. Now, it's the moment you have been waiting for. The two wild predictions, and I hope you're sitting down because it's about to get hot in here. So I want to show you two different scenarios that are really going to combine together and potentially have some enormous impact on XRP. Here is the first one. We have been in a bull flag for XRP, which is a typical formation that is called a continuation formation. What does that mean? Well, that means that right now we're in this formation where this top white line acts as resistance and we need multiple touch points. And the bottom acts as support and we need multiple touch points. This is called a bull flag, where this pattern, the huge explosion, is kind of the flag pole. And this formation is the actual flag hanging on the pole. This is called a bull flag, and it's a continuation pattern. What does that mean? That means that if this bull flag meets the specific criteria, then this move will continue like it did before we entered the bull flag. And you can see clearly what happened before we entered the bull flag. Now, let's see if the bull flag meets our standards. Well, we need this top level to act as resistance and have multiple touch points. Well, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. We need at least 3. The bottom, we need at least 3 touch points, and it has to act as support. We've got that. We need these 2 lines to be parallel. We've got that. We need the bull flag not to go more than 60% of the way down from the pole. We've also got that. So we have a classic textbook bull flag. I'm about to do a measured move and show you where this bad boy can go, because what you want to see after a bull flag is you want to see a breakout candle, which we had right here, followed by a confirmation candle, which we had right here. Now, keep in mind, we're on the 2-day chart, just to clean it up. If we put on the weekly chart with that same bull flag, you will see that we also follow the rules and we clean up the candles a little bit and we make it a little bit more simple. It depends which time horizon you trade on. If you trade on the weekly chart, this candle that we're in right now is considered our breakthrough candle, our breakout candle, and then we look for a confirmation candle. If you jump back to the 2-day, it looks like this. The measured move is the same. But here's where it gets really interesting. So we had this huge pull, we had this beautiful flag textbook, and we're going to do a measured move to see where that comes from. Before we get there, I do want to go further into the first wild prediction, because the second wild prediction is going to be the bull flag. We're going to get back to that in a second. But here's the first one, and I want to make this abundantly clear. We had this formation start 7 years ago. 2017 started this formation. This is a triangle. You can see here, through here, to here, we have a triangle formation. What's interesting about this formation is that 2017 was the ridiculously huge explosion. This explosion started to battle Ethereum. It started to battle Bitcoin as potentially taking over the lead. This was just an enormous explosion, unseen in XRP's history. It was so big that the next explosion had to have a cool off period, meaning it needed to recover, and it did not make a new all-time high because 2017 was so big and we got into this formation, and the rest is history. We had a lot of touch points and it took us multiple years to finally break through, and when we did, there's so much pent-up aggression that the explosion is so large. Now, this is what I have said before, and I will say it again. I said it when price was a lot lower, that I think this formation is repeating, meaning that ridiculously huge formation, the one that really started to battle Ethereum and push Bitcoin around a little bit, that is what I believe we're in now. And I believe the next cycle, so right now we're in 2025, so 2028, 2029 for XRP may be more in line with 2021, where it's that cool off cycle. Then we get to, potentially, 2033, 2032 with having the next massive explosion like we're in right now. That means that this whole formation might repeat. Charts love to repeat history, and you can see we have 7 years of history showing this type of formation. We might be in that formation right now. If we are, it means that there's a lot more legs for XRP to run up and potentially battle more with Ethereum and Bitcoin. Now, let's get to that second wild prediction, which coincides with the first one. This bull flag that we've got here. I want to do a measured move. And by the way, you've got to share this with the XRP community. This is hot news right here on where things could be heading. Because look, a bull flag of this nature, this is a textbook bull flag, textbook. Now, we've discussed the pole, we discussed the flag, we discussed the resistance, and we discussed the support. We discussed the 3 touch points. We discussed the parallel lines. Now you're amped with tons of information on what a bull flag is. You can find them on any time frame for anything in the world that has a chart, and they all act the same. Now, do all bull flags break to the upside? No, the majority do. So when you enter a trade, you keep that in mind, and you get out of your position if we re-enter the bull flag, right? If we have a breakout to the upside, you wait for that confirmation candle, and then you have your breakout candle, you wait for the confirmation candle, you take a trade, and you place your stop loss inside of said flag. Because if we re-enter the flag, you know that there's a huge sign of weakness. And if we don't, you maximize your profits and you minimize your risk. It's a strategic decision. Now, how high could this thing go? Because we clearly on the 2-day chart have had a breakout candle. On the weekly chart, we have not had any confirmation candle yet. So I'm on a lower time frame just to show you what this thing is looking like. This is where it gets interesting. So how to measure a bull flag? When you find one in the charts, they're all measured the same. You want to measure the pull, because remember, this formation is called a continuation pattern. In other words, whatever happened right before it should happen again. So you want to go over here to your drawing tools. You're going to click on trend line. You're going to click on that bad boy. You're going to go to the top of the pole, right? The top of the pole, you're going to click once. You're going to drag it down in a straight line. You're not going to follow the jagged pole. You're going to put it in a straight line, and you're going to measure from the bottom of the pole. Now, keep in mind, you're not going to measure it this way or this way, because that would be inaccurate. You're going to measure from that candlestick of the top straight down and go in line with where that pole started. All right. Once you get there, you're just going to click once. Okay. Now you're going to pick this line up. All right. You want to pick this line up, and you want to put it at the breakout point, where you put the bottom of the pole right at that breakout point, like so. Once we've done that, we have an estimated range of where this could go to if the bull flag continues. It's a simple measuring tool that traders use to get in and out of positions. For example, if they follow the rules, they wait for the breakout candle, they enter at the confirmation candle, they put their stop loss inside of the bull flag, they minimize their losses to the downside, they maximize and they're going to look to take profits before this estimated target is reached. Why before? Because you never know what's going to happen. And also there's going to be a lot of profit taking in that range, and you want your order to be filled. So you always want to take a little bit below that said target. But now this is where it gets interesting, because let's see where the target brings us. Keep in mind, we are going to try to repeat this pull pattern. The pull pattern is when we actually broke out of this trend line, something that many people may have missed unless you follow my channel, because I told you about it 8 months ago to be ready for it. I also told you about the cross to be ready for that. Now, when we drag it down, it's going to predict where this thing could go if XRP continues this bull flag breakout. Now, this is where it gets interesting. You could see we are way up here in price. This thing could explode up to a similar level in price. And when you look at the top of the bull flag, it brings us to a price of potentially $4.75. So a professional trader would never take profits here. They would study the charts as we enter, said area, but they would typically take their profits 10%, 5%, 7% below there, because that's generally a typical rule that follows patterns of trading, right? You never want to have that absolute maximum profit. You want your order to be filled. Share this video with the XRP army. These two wild predictions coincide because this bull flag breakout would actually coincide with the theory that this whole thing will repeat, and the fact that we may be in the 2017 era of XRP with this just ridiculous explosion and battling Ethereum and battling Bitcoin. This thing could heat up. Share this video, hit the subscribe button, throw a thumbs up on this video, and I'll see you right back here in the next video. This bull run is our road to 500,000 subscribers, but I need your help. Today, tell one person about our YouTube channel, how we spit facts, go against the herd, take no paid sponsorships of any kind. Road to 500,000, let's go.